Dear Mears, pagkaalis nito, naalala na yung nilapitan siya ng iba nilang kaklase na hindi outright makapagtanong tungkol sa kanilang dalawa pero halatang iyon ang dahilan kung bakit siya nilapitan. One thing led to another and before she knew it, she was dancing and laughing and drinking with them instead of Rafi. Natakot siya, nalito at aminado siyang iniwasan niya ito. Lalo siyang nalasing at namalayan pa niya nung nilapitan siya nito para sabihin kailangan na talaga siya nitong ihatid pa uwi. Sumama siya rito. Even in her confusion, she knew who to trust. Ang huli niyang naalala, nakasakay siya sa kotse nito. Imagine how shocked she was when she woke up in his bed the following morning wearing only his pajamas over her own underwear. At yun nga, pinagsalitaan niya ito ng masasakit na mga salita, thinking the worst, only to find out that her father was downstairs having breakfast with his father. Hiwalay na noon ng mga magulang nito. She threw up. Sa kotse pa lang nito ay nawala na siya ng malay. O inakala nitong nawalan siya ng malay kaya ito natakot. At dahil mas malapit ang bahay nito, doon na siya nito dinala. Ang maid na nagpalit ng damit niya at naglinis sa kanya. Tinawagan naman nito ang kanyang daddy para sabihin ang nangyari. Nirapat ng kanyang ama na doon na siya hayaang matulog hanggang umaga. Ito naman ay sa guest room natulog. Pumasok pa man din si Rafi sa kwarto para dalhan siya ng breakfast sa tray nito. Pamismo ang nagluto. When everything was clarified, hiyang-hiya siya rito. Humingi siya ng sorry dito sa bahay pa lang nito at kahit ng sumunod na mga araw at lagi nga nitong sinasabi na okay lang dito. But he could not quite hide the hurt in his eyes. Graduation day came too fast. Pagkatapos ay sa States nito nag-aral. Hindi na sila nakita nito mula noon. Ngayon na lang ulit. Not without reason. Alam niyang sinadya nito lahat ng mga pagkakataong pwede sana sila magkita pero lagi itong may alibay sa mga magulang kaya hindi ito makakasama. Nagtampo na siya at lahat. Pero since walang Rafi na mapagbubuntunan, maging iyon ay lumipas hanggang sa sumuko siya. He didn't look hurt anymore. In fact, aside from his physicality, his whole aura seemed to say he had really moved on, na maaaring pinatawad na nga siya nito. He probably had lots of women now. It had been 13, 14 years. A lot of things could happen in the span of time. His looks now could justify it. Pero bakit mabigat pa rin ang kanyang dibdib? Tulog nga lang marahil ang kailangan niya. Niyapos niya ang malaking unan. Pagod at puyat siya, kaya parang bagyo ang naging epekto ng pagbabalik ni Rafi sa buhay niya. Next time would be different. She would be rested, alert, and strong when they talk again. Pinikit nito ang kanyang mga mata at dahil totoong pagod na pagod, agad siyang nakatulog. Nang magising si Axel, matagal siyang napatitig sa kawalan habang bumabawi sa kanyang panaginip. It felt so real. Hindi niya maintindihan sa loob ng ilang sandali kung alin ang totoo. Yung panaginip na yon o ang pagdating ni Rafi at ng kanyang daddy kaninang madaling araw. Sa panaginip niya, magkaibigan pa rin sila ni Rafi. Nasa high school pa sila at naglalakad sa corridor ng school nila noon. He was wearing a red t-shirt and faded jeans, and it was the color that stood out in her dream. He wasn't fat. He was as lean as the present Rafi, but he was still wearing his eyeglasses with the think frames. Parang iyon salamin sa mga mata ni Ninoy Aquino. Ang nakapagtataka, magkahawak kamay sila habang naglalakad sa kanyang panaginip. Sweet sila na parang high school sweethearts. Sa dinadaanan nilang koridor naroon ang mga estudyante, mga klase nila at iba pang mga estudyante sa ibang year. Naroon din sina Rebecca at mga bullies. Looking at them, jealous of them. Halata sa tingin ni Rebecca kay Rafi na gustong-gusto nito ang binata. Halata sa mukha ng mga bullies na gusto man ng mga itong kutsain si Rafi, walang makitang dahilan ng mga ito para gawin iyon. She was so blissfully in love with Rafi in her dream. Nakatingin siya lagi rito and she was always blushing when he looked back at her with adoration in his eyes. Then it suddenly changed. They were in a bed. That bed where she had woken up the next morning after the night of the ball. They were both naked, swearing, making passionate love to each other. Hindi na sila ang mga high school na Rafi at Axel, kundi kung ano na sila ngayon. Noon siya nagising. It was one of the most vivid dreams she ever had. Ramdam niya ang kabog sa kanyang dibdib. Napaungol siya nang maisip na magkikita silang dalawa ng lalaki ngayong gabi. Nababasa pa sa pagblush ng isang babae kung anong napanaginipan nito tungkol sa sarili at sa isang virile na lalaki. Virile na Rafe, professional work ethics. Ulit-ulit na yung sinabi ang mga yun sa kanyang sarili habang naliligo at nagbibihis. Ayun ang kailangan niya parang muling pagharap nila Rafe at mamayang gabi. And she really had to do something about her sudden partially to blushing. Namumula na naman kasi mga pisngi niya nang humarap siya sa salamin at ito ang laman ng isip niya. She would die if he would see in her face that she had dreamed about them making hot, wild sex the first time she went to sleep after he came back into her life. Inabala niya ang sarili sa paglilinis sa kanyang unit para kalmahin ang kanyang sarili. When that didn't work as effectively as it used to before. She did yoga, feeling refreshed after that. Tumawag siya sa Black Bureau headquarters para alamin kung naroon si Chief Eagle. Nasa harap ni Eagle o Rico Ventura ang folder ng personality profile na inihanda ng assistant ni Agent Prof pagkatapos ang kanyang request kaninang umaga at finax nito sa kanya after lunch. Nagdagdag siya ng mga agents at para sa psych team, 3 ang binuo sa ilalim ng guidance si Trisha. Trisha herself was able to find and pick those new recruits from her favorite former students, people who were trustworthy and had integrity that was very much needed in the job. The 3 new recruits formed Trisha's team, Alejandra Salcedo, Billy Curan, and Francesca Lescano. Nang magbuntis si Trisha, mas maraming trabaho ang nalipat sa Green Recruits at sa Twina ay excited pa rin ang mga ito sa bawat personality profile at criminal profiling na gagawin ng mga ito gaya ng unang araw ng pasok ng mga ito sa Black Bureau headquarters. Si Allen gumawa ng personal profile ni Rafael Gonzaga mula sa lumang files na na compile in the past few months at mga bagong research bago pa man binisita ang mga ito ni Axel kaninang madaling araw ay nagpaalam na sa kanya si Armando tungkol sa gagawin nitong pag-involve sa anak nito sa kaso. Armand Ramos was one of the directors of Ventura Enterprises, ang malaking kumpanyang ipinamana sa kanya ng kanyang tiyo Brusco nang namatay ito. Armand knew about the bureau because he was one of those few businessmen who used to find it when it was just starting. Si Rafael Gonzaga naman ay inilok nitong emerge ang pharmaceutical business ito sa kanila. They actually had an ulterior motive. They really wanted to recruit him to become a member of Black Bureau. Yun ang dahilan kung bakit unti-unti na silang kumakalap na impormasyon tungkol dito sa nagdaang mga buwan mula nung inirefer ito sa kanya ni Arman. Rafael Gonzaga was one of the most brilliant chemists in the country. He had already quoted a dozen useful medicines to his name and 3 of them were breakthroughs to local and tropical diseases before he turned 30. Kakailanganin nila ang kakayanin nitong iyon sa Black Bureau. Pero ang pagbibigay ng edge kay Mr. Gonzaga sa iba pang matatalinong chemist sa bansa ay ang kagandahan loob nito. He was managing one of the most profitable chain of pharmaceutics providing low-cost medicine to its customers and medicine loans without interest to the poor. Kilalang chemist at isang magaling na businessman. The public didn't know of his helpful side, but Armand knew. Now, Rafael Gonzaga's life was in danger. Mukhang mapapabili sila magpakilala sa matalinong binata kaysa sa naunang plano. Nag-beep ang kanyang intercom. Sinagot niya yon. What is it, Carla? Sir, Axel's online. 3. I'll take it. Sabi niya. Maya-maya pa ikausap na niya ang isa sa original elites ng Black Bureau at isa rin sa kanyang pinakamatalik na kaibigan. He was actually waiting for her call. Hello, Axel? Ang sabi niya. Chief. Ang sabi nito. She knew she could talk freely. Alam kasi nitong walang danger na may makakarinig sa tawag na iyon. Lahat ng tawag sa mga specific lines na diretso sa opisina ng pinuno ay minomonitor ng team ni Agent Bug sa control room ng headquarters ng Black Bureau at agad silang makakatanggap ng warning kung sakaling may irregularidad at hindi sigurado ang mga ito kung secure ang linya. I know, Dad. Talk to you already about Rafi's death threats. You're right. Hindi niya yun itinanggi, but he also did not volunteer to help the rest. It was Armand's request. Gusto muna ng matandang marisolba ni Axel at ng dati nitong kaibigan ng gap ng mga ito na nagtagal na rin ng maraming taon. So, are we going to take the case? We will. Ang sagot niya. Ilang sandaling katahimikan na nagdaan. Will I get an assignment? Your father wanted you to be in it, but I'm not sure. Narinig niya ang mahinang ungol nito mula sa kabilang linya. He already did the profile and you already know about the seniors ball. Ang sabi nito. Napangiti siya. We already have a profile, pero ang father mo nagsabi sa akin ng tungkol sa seniors ball fiasco. Don't worry, nobody else here knows. So, Axel, hindi ako sigurado kung emotional involved ka pa rin. We were not like that. We were friends, sabi nito. It was all a big misunderstanding. A big misunderstanding that for almost 14 years was not resolved yet. Yeah, right. Napag-aralan na niya ang personality profile ni Rafi at ngayon niya naunawaan kung bakit lahat ng mga nakakadate ni Axel o nagiging boyfriend ay laging kulang para dito. Was she even aware of that? He did not think he was a person to tell her that. She could find out for herself. Then, I'll put you in. Brainstorming at the headquarters this afternoon. Muling natahimik ito sa kabilang linya. May problema ba, Axel? Tanong niya. It's not that I'm not sure I can do the job. Bumuntong hininga ito. I guess, overwhelmed pa ako sa meeting namin this morning. Then be sure, iba muna ang i-assign ko sa case. Thank you. Sabi nito. With a lot still left unsaid, nagpaalam na ito. Nag-aalangan binilik niya ang auditibo sa katangahan. Pero matagal na silang magkakilala ni Axel at alam niya kung handa na itong magsalita. Walang bagyo o namang klase ng dilubyo ang nakapagpigil dito. He had always thought that if love comes to his friend gaya rin ng dilubyo, wala makapagpipigil, walang makakatalo. Like Chameleon herself, only the force of a hurricane how much her could topple her down. Si Rafael Gonzaga na kaya ayon? Kumpose sa mukha na binuksan ni Axel ang pinto ng kanyang unit pagkatapos silipin kung sinong nasa labas. It was Rafi. Ginitian niya ito. Hi! Bumaba sa dala nito ang kanyang mga mata. You brought a lot of food. Kumunot ang noo nang makita ang hugis ng mga plastic containers sa bitbit nitong plastic bags. My mom's back in my life, remember? So, no fast food. Sabi nito sa magaan na tinig. Of course, sabi niya. Niluwagan niya ang pagkakabukas ng pinto at inanyahan itong pumasok. Sa parents mo pa rin ikaw nakatira? Nagsisi agad siya pagkasabi niyon. What was she thinking? Pero mukhang hindi ito na-offend nang nag-alala siyang tumingin sa mukha nito. No, but they visited when they learned about last night. Sagot nito. Inubutan nila akong nang nagluluto and she helped. Napangiti siya. Rafi could cook well in high school. Naalala niya ang breakfast in bed na inihanda nito sa kanya noon. Nabura ang kanyang ngiti. Ako na ang bahala sa mga ito. Sige, maupo ka lang dyan. Sabi niya habang inabot ang mga dala nito nang nakaraang natingni sila sa suwala. I'll carry it for your kitchen. I can help. Alok nito sa polite na tinig. No, I insist. Ikaw na nga ang nagluto. Ikaw pa ang maghahain. Sige na, maupo ka na lang dyan. Magpatugtog ka, manood ka ng TV. Feel at home. I'll feel at home if you'll let me in your kitchen. You're treating me like my mom. Napatingin si Rito. Nilabanan nito ang tingin niya. He was making it harder for her. Then she saw something in his eyes that made her heart melt. Had a hard day? Sympathetic na tanong nito sa kanya. Reluctant itong tumayo. This dead threat business is making me grumpy. No, your mom has made you grumpy. Siguradong sabi niya rito. So, what happened? Tanong niya habang naglalakad patungo sa kitchen. Sumunod dito sa kanya dala ang mga plastic bags. Nagbigay ng report ang restaurant sa pulis at tulog ako nung tumawag ang pulis sa pad. So they contacted my parents' house. What about your maid? I live alone. Really? For 10 years now, I become independent. Naginit ang mukha niya sa tono nito. Oh, okay. Yes, okay. Dumating sila sa bahay. My mom was hysterical at kung hindi siya pinigilan ni daddy, she would accompany me here like a guard dog. I feel like I'm in high school again. Tumungo siya at para safe ay hindi na nag-comment. I'm sorry. Anito sa normal ang tinig. Hindi ko balak magkwento sa'yo tungkol sa personal kong buhay. I only wanted your suggestions about this threat. The threats. Things so I can get this over with. It's fine, you know I don't mind. Sunod pa niya ito habang nilabas niya ang mga placemats mula sa cupboard. Pinanood siya nito. Hindi na siya makaiwas ang tingin na parang hinuli ng titig nito ang kanyang mga mata. You were the only person I know who didn't make me feel like a mama's boy when I grew up about her. Anito, it's just that I'm fully grown man now pero hindi pa rin siya nagbabago sa pagtrato sa akin. Your mother has always been more than ordinary and I know that you love her very much. Nawala naman ang normal nitong tono. More than ordinary. Everybody or almost everybody except the little insane ones love their mothers, but my mother is different. She's insane. Natawa siya habang naglalapag ng mga plato sa mesa. Kasalanan mo yan kasi sobra kang cute nung bata ka. Everybody tended to smother you with kisses. Kahit strangers, imagine na lang kung anong effect nun. Sa sarili mong ina, nag-iisa ka pa namang anak. Umiling ito. Marami akong kilalang only child pero paglaki nila, pinagtitiwalaan na ng mga magulang ng mga mag-fend or of mag-isa. Nagulat siya. But I'm sure she does trust you. She's always been proud of you. Masyado lang siyang expressive. Napangiwing sabi niya. Tumigil siya sa ginagawa at tumingin dito. I used to envy you. You did? Hindi makapaniwalang sabi nito. Na parang iniisip tong siya ang nababaliw. Everyone that I've ever known feels grateful they didn't have a mother like mine. Bahagya pa itong nangatal. Namalaya na lang niyang tumatawa siya ng malakas. Nang tumigil siya, titig na titig ito sa kanya na parang namalikmata. Nartaranta siya. What I'm going to do with you? Sambit niya. Nawala ang ekspresyong iyon sa mga mata nito at muli itong nagbalik sa pagiging rational. Help me get rid of my killer. I hope I can think of how sininong ang nagsabing matutulungan mo ko. Naniniwala ako sa kanya 100%. Let's talk about it as we eat. Nagugutom na ako. Mupo na sila sa mesa. So, these private people that you're acquainted with can help me? How did you get to know them? Interesadong tanong ni Rafael nung nagkakape na sila sa maliit na beranda ng unit ni Axel. They had finished dinner and he made coffee while she quickly did the dishes. She had already told him about a private intelligence group that she could ask without saying anything specific about Black Bureau while they ate dinner. May mga nangangailangan ng tulong nila here and there and I heard something, alam mo na, after what happened to my own mother. I tried to ask their help with my mother's case pero sobrang conclusive na mga ebidensya para ma-solve. Criminals murdered her mother in a cold blood while she was in her car, took the car and her valuables, and left her lying on the cold pavement. May edad na ang mami niya nung ipinansiyan nito at grade 5 lang siya nang mangyari ang krimeng iyon. Her father had done everything mula sa legal hanggang sa pambabribe para ma-solve agad ang kaso. Corrupt police ang officials, took the money and then put a man in jail. Pagkatapos ng 5 taon, nang matuklas ang inosente ang nakulong at inakulang nito ang krimen dahil sa hindi makataong interogasyon. She and her father were both horrified. Nothing like that could justify their need to make her mother's killers pay for what they did. Tinulungan ng daddy niya ang pamilya ng inakusahan. Seeing the victim's family recover helped heal the pain in her father's heart and help him move on from losing his beloved wife. Hindi lamang iyon ang mga nagawang mabuti ng kanyang ama. Naging aktibo rin ito sa iba pang kawang gawa at nang lumaon when she was performing on stage, natuklasan niya ang pagpupondo nito sa isang secret intelligence agency na nagre-resolba ng krimen ng walang bayad. By that time, her father's deeds had already made her realize that something could be gotten from the terrible tragedy. She felt that she'd do something too. So, when her father's best friend, General Alejandro, former chief and co-founder of Black Bureau, along with Chief Eagle's uncle Bureau, Brusco, told her that with her talent, she could be a good spy, and that they were looking for the first exclusive elites that they could train to be good intelligence agents, she decided to enlist. The decision was very easy for her. She did not even have to think. Masaya siyang natutulungan niya ang iba pa niyang kanyang ama. Marami mga kriminal ang nakakulong dahil sa tulong nila. Since then, she never looked back. I'm sorry. Untag ng mababang tinig ni Rafe sa kanya, sandaling naabalang isip. Okay na ako, ipinagpasadyos na namin ni Daddy ang nangyari sa kanya. Ang sabi niya, ang mga kaibigan mo, hindi ba nila kayang kulang na kulang ang mga ebidensyang nakalap no ng mga pulis? There was a gang that they suspected pero namatay ang mga yun sa isang shootout a few years ago and they weren't able to confess. But don't worry about my friends, most of the time they get the guilty. So you think they can help find my killer and know what I'm receiving this threat? Seryosong tanong nito. I think so, yes. Bakit hindi mo dalhin ng mga letters na natanggap mo, then I'll bring it to them. I received another one today. Napakurap siya. Really? Hindi ko binuksan. Binuklat nito ang left papel ng jacket nito at may kinuha sa inside pocket. Ang sulat ay nasa loob ng isang sealed plastic envelope. I know the prints in the outside would be tempered already pero sa loob kami makuha kayong kahit ano. Prints, fibers. Gumisi ito nang makitang nakangiti siya. Yes, I watch too much CSI. No, sambit niya ng abutin ng envelope mula rito. I can bring this to their lab para... Lab, pwede ba akong sumama? Excited na tanong nito. Natawa siya. What? Excited ka hindi dahil baka may makitang ebidensya sa loob ng envelope kundi dahil narinig mo salitang lab? Oh, that. Natatawa rin sabi nito. Hindi ka pa rin taga nagbabago. It's like a trigger word of you, like an aphrodisiac. Pagkasabi niyon ay naginit ang todo ang kanyang mukha. You're blushing again. Fascinated na pahayag nito. I am not. Aminin ko, hearing the word love causes an adrenaline rush in me. Kind of aphrodisiac nga, I guess. Stop it, Rafe. So, what's yours? What? You're aphrodisiac. Napatayo siya at inambaan niya ito ng palo na parang bata. Tumatawang hinawakan nito ang kanyang mga bisig. Hey, stop being violent. Stop teasing me. Submit niya. It's juvenile. At ako pa ang juvenile? Namalaya na lang nila na nahila siya nito. The next moment, she was sitting on his lap and her face was very close to his. Bigla nagkaroon ng tension. Heat charged up the air. Electricity pulsed in her veins as she stared at him, helpless even while knowing that with a twist she could easily get herself free. Pero habang titig na titig ito sa kanya, hindi niya ayon nagawa. It was like their second kiss. Something took hold of them. An awareness that was unmistakably physical. She was an adult now and of course, she had already suspected what it was. Natakot siya noon, pero hindi na ngayon. She had changed, grew up, and matured. But nothing was grown up or matured or even rational about her racing heart. Rafe, bulong niya. I'm so sorry. I'm trying my damnedest not to do this pero para kang magnet. I can't. Muntong hininga ito na parang sumusuko bago ito yumuko para kubkubin ng kanyang mga labi sa isang maalab na halik. She felt like her whole world was suddenly turned upside down. Habang nararamdaman na magkahalong init at tamis ang halik nito, napapikit siya ng mariin. Tila nagkaroon ng sariling buhay ang kanyang mga kamay at yumakap ang mga yun sa leeg nito, kasabay ng paghigpit ng yakap nito sa kanya. The kiss turned argent, deeper and hotter. Ni hindi niya nagawang pigilan ang sariling tugunin ang buong puson halik nito. Umungol ito at narinig niya ang kanyang mga tugong pag-ungol. The kiss went on and it didn't stop. They couldn't stop kissing each other. Nang pakawalan nito ang mga labi niya, umiikot ang kanyang mundo. Dahan-dahan siyang nagmulat ang kanyang mga mata. Halos sa takot sa kanyang nakikita. He was staring at her first, wonderingly, smiling tenderly. Rafe, napalunok siya, nalulula. Her bones had turned to liquid. Her whole body felt like melting. It's still there, isn't it? Tanong nito. Napalunok uli siyang napapatango. Hindi siya makapagsinungaling. Halos nararamdaman pa rin niya ang diin ng mga labi nito sa namamagang mga labi niya. She wanted him to kiss her again. Her lips were throbbing so hard, wanting his lips on them again. But what would happen after that? What were they doing? It was so hard to think. Let go of me. Sa huli ay nalilitong sabi niya. Are you sure? Halos pabulong nitong tanong. Tumungo siya. Please? Pakiusap niya. Please what, Axel? Rafi. Ilang sandali ang nagdaan bago siya nito pinakawalan. Namalaya na lamang niya nakatayo na silang dalawa at inalalayan sila nitong huwag matumba. Nagmulat siya at humakbang palayo, saka siya tumingin dito. I'm sorry, sabi niya. What for? Amused na tanong nito. I didn't mean to flirt with you. Come on, Axel, pareho tayong adult. I flirted too. It's no one's fault. Kumunot ang noo nito kasabay ng pagtense sa mga balikat nito. Unless you're committed to somebody else. Umuling agad siya. Hindi. Nang aakusang tumingin siya rito. You know that already. I'm sure nagkukwento si Daddy sa'yo. Napangiti itong muli. He did say something to that effect this morning paglabas namin dito. What exactly did he say? Sabi niya. Pagpasensyahan ko na raw that you're acting strange. Lahat yata ng mga kakilala mo committed na. He didn't say that. He did. I asked him kung bakit nga ba. You didn't. I did. Sabi niya, masyado ka raw pihikan. Parang meron ka raw hinihintay. Feeling niya malapit na mag-explode ang kanyang ulo. Lagot ang daddy niya kapag nakita niya ito. Look, kung meron mang may kasalanan sa nangyari, kung kasalanan mang maituturing yung ginawa natin, it's me. Sinong lalaki ay makatitiis na hindi kahalikan? Really? Where are they? Sarcastic kong tanong niya. Tinitigan siya nito and of course, she blushed on cue. Alam mo, malaki ng pinagbago mo, ang sabi niya. Make up your mind, nagbago ba ako o hindi? Alam mong ang ugali mo ang tinutukoy ko. Ano sa ugali ko nagbago? Dati kang shy. That's your problem, I guess. Hindi mo makalimutan ang dating Rafi. Napatitig siya rito. He said it too casually but it was the same as when she said too many times that he had forgiven her for all those cruel things she said to him that morning. Rafi, I don't do affairs. Paniwanag niya. Ah, that. Yes, kaya ako nagsasorry. I didn't mean to lead you on. And what made you think I wasn't the ones who leading you on? Parang na-offend na tanong nito. Napakurap naman siya. I'm confused as you are right now. Ipinangako ko sa sarili ko na hindi na ako papayag na sakton muli. Axel, now what was I thinking kissing you? Napakasot siya na parang sinampal. Pero walang panghuhusga sa tinig nito. Ang alam ko lang, sa mga sandaling ito, ayoko mag-isip. Marahang dugtong nito. Napaungol siya habang napapikit. He was still so damn innocent, so honest. Jesus, Axel, make up your mind really. Tell you what, sabi nito sa magaang tinig na napamulat sa kanya. Maliwalas ang mukha nito. Let's not go into this while we're still so confused. Let's be friends the way we were before that kiss messed us. The first kiss didn't mess us up. My cruel words did. Protesta niya. And I really didn't mean to say those. I was just confused and angry that morning. No, Axel. Putol nito sa sinabi niya. Nagbago ka bigla pagkatapos mo kong halikan ng gabing yun. Para kang biglang nandiri sa akin. Na-shock siya. No, hindi yan totoo. Kahit kailan hindi ako nandiri sa'yo. Hindi to umimik. Her words the next day made his accusation seem true, but it never was true. Kailangan itong maniwala sa kanya. Rafi, murong ito. Mas makabubuti sigurong ipagpaliban muna natin to, Axel. Rain check? You've been passing for 14 years now, Rafi. Tama na. Once and for all, I want to make this clear to you. Gosh, why would you think na nandidiri ako sa'yo? I got scared. Of me? Of course. No, may naramdaman ako and it scared the hell out of me. The expression that passed on his face was priceless. Not that. You idiot. My God, pare-pareho talaga kayong mga lalaki ng likaw ng bituka. Naguguluhan tumitig ito sa kanya. Eh ano? This. Pinitsirahan niya ito at hinalikan ang nakaawang na bibig nito. In fairness, mabilis itong nakabawi. Sa sumunod na sandali ay ito na ang kumukontrol sa kanyang labi. Kumalag siya. Naliliyo na naman. Got it? Yap, sambit nito ng pabuntong hininga. Naunawaan mo na ba ako? I got scared. I was young and I wasn't ready for anything like that. You knew I hadn't even started dating then. You knew that my father was my life. I was still an 8-year-old at 17. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung naramdaman ko, but I knew it was adultish and I couldn't trust it. Hindi pa ko handang maging adult in that aspect. Nakatitig ito sa kanya na parang noon lang siya nito nakita. I am so sorry that I wasn't able to handle it. And because of that, I was cruel to you and you got hurt. Damdaming sabi niya. And maybe this was long overdue. Hindi pa rin ako nakakalimot sa kasalanan ko dahil alam kong hindi mo ako maunawaan noon at hindi mo pa ako talaga napapatawad. I never thought about how important you are to me until I was missing you so terribly. Pero wala ka na. Namamasa-masa ang mga matang sabi niya. There, she had said it at last. She didn't know how to explain it at 17. But she knew now, and she could see on his face that he finally believed her. Nakahinga siya ng maluwag. So, that's it. Sabi nito na makapagsalita. Tumungo siya ng sunod-sunod. Are you still afraid? Not anymore. Her emotions were telling her she was so ready for anything. But she was an adult and she had already learned that emotions were not everything. She had always been liable to thinking things through. Maybe it did not save her friendship with Rafi years ago, but later in her life, it saved her many times. Ibang Rafi na ang kanyang kaharap ngayon. At siya, ibang Axel na rin. Maraming bagay ang kailangan pa nilang matuklasan tungkol sa isa't isa. He didn't even know about Black Bureau. The Black Bureau was something she felt was entirely hers. She was very protective of Chameleon. No man would want Chameleon. She was tough and courageous, brave like man, and often pitted herself with men on the field. Men who had become significant to her outside. The Bureau had run when they started to feel that she was tougher than she looked. Hindi niya tinangkang habulin o ipaglaban ng mga ito. Hindi niya kayang ikompromiso si Chameleon dahil ito ay siya at siya ay ito. Hanggang sa napagod na lang siya at tinigilan na ang pakikipag-date. It was so overrated. The get to know each other's business. And men were men. Kahit pagwapo o hindi, matalino o clueless, mabait at sanggano. The last, her father didn't know about. Once na nakikita na nga nito kung ano siya talaga, tumatakbo ang mga ito parang makakakita ng multo.